here in this tournament at the Genesis Open for just the third time. Miscut and tied for 62nd through the years for Louis, and playing in just his third event of the season on the PGA Tour. Share 5th place in Malaysia. Last fall was his best finish. Louis playing with Brandon Harkins and Robert Garrigus. This is Harkins with his hands full here, coming in low. Alright, just get it onto the green and hold it. It's respectable work, so birdie chance coming up for Brandon Harkins in his second full season out here on the PGA Tour. Managed to survive the cut here last year. Robert Garrigus with his second, drove it right to the front edge of the green. Had a tricky one there and managed to flip it over the brow of that bunker. It's a nice shape from the 3 players in this group. And there is Phil Mickelson, back-to-back champion in 2008 and 2009, after losing in a playoff in 07 to Charles Howell III. Just to the right of Mickelson in your frame there, there's Andrew Schauffele. 2 victories on the season for Schauffele, ranked 2nd in the FedEx Cup standings. Phil coming off his 5th tournament title at Pebble last Monday. So back to the 10th, and the next group ready to begin their week's work here at this terrific par 4. Terrell Hatton playing with Wee Kim and Danny Lee. Not a bad spot right there. Opening round coverage, Genesis Open, right at 2 o'clock local time here. About an hour remaining in our scheduled coverage here. This is a stellar field here at Riviera. Deep and talented, the very best in the world golf rankings, the FedEx Cup standings as well. And Vijay Singh still cranking out here in his mid-50s, playing a much heavier PGA Tour Champions schedule the last couple of seasons. Fully committed to that tour, but runner-up here in 2011. A fondness for this course as Vijay tees it up for the 18th time here at Riviera this week.
Freddie Jacobson, come back. I love watching him play golf. That is going to be a difficult bunker shot, very long. Nick, I know you've had success here.
Well, we were old school. Yeah, we went left, but it's moved. It's back to the first.
Some came. Hit 2nd from the fairway.
So he really had made one very playable. The flags are far back. They don't have to worry about the front bunker so much. They're going to carry that. The golf ball's going to stop dead. So yeah, we'd expect an eagle or 2 soon.
Peter Uihlein, first guy we've seen lay up today.
And then clinks it right. That's going to... Oh, that's no man's land, isn't it? That's awkward. Across the corner of the bunker, on a down slope. He's got about 2 yards to work with, hasn't he, Colt?
He's been thinking about that for about 7 hours. He stayed right here. Keith Mitchell, 2nd at 1. Backed it up.
I'm not happy with that.
By the way, that rain, which came in while we were in commercial break, is getting a little heavier. It was just felt like you were a part of the cloud, the mist, but coming down a little bit more now.
We're going to be watcher of the skies all day long, aren't we?
All week.
So Nick, you said when you played here, you took the layup.
We went left over the top of that bunker. Back in my era, that was a 2-iron into that corner, and then we wedged it across from whatever you had. You know, anything from whatever 60, 70, 80-yard shot. So we didn't have the firepower to get that lump of wood and that Balata golf ball
I always found those still. Was it not the scariest wedge shot you would face? I mean, you just have such a small area to land it in.
Well, you know, if you pull it, and we see you're in a bunker, then it's so easy to just knock it out of one bunker into the other side. And so we get a perfect shot and get a big hard bounce and hop into the back bunker. So
yeah, you can bring double bogey into play very quickly here.
Even hitting the golf ball forwards, hitting the ball nicely.
Pretty good, with how wet this green is. I mean, it took the bounce out of this 10th green.
Well, plus it adds to the predictability of the tee shot, doesn't it? Because, you know, in the past, we've had guys go almost onto the 11th tee. And they've hit it so long because it'd get a hard bounce. But you get a chance now to throw it in there, plug it at the front of the green and make a three.
With the greens being softer today, though, it plays a little bit easier. Back to one.
Mitchell, we saw the approach here. This is an eagle putt a long way.
Yeah, he's on the front left corner. Pin's kind of back middle now. Oh, and there's tons of break.
About 5 or 6.
Cringing at that one.
Seen that putt missed. General area, a couple. We just started. Mitchell, Kang, Tom Hoagie, the 3 in this group. One of the more, well, you stand up on that opening tee here and it's all laid out in front of you. It's a beautiful opening tee shot, but yes.
That was the most difficult shot because you stand on the tee and you've got 180 degrees of vision. You've got compound for us left. You've got out of bounds fence. You've got rough. You've got a skinny runway of a fairway. Then it goes to trees, and then you can see the second fairway. Then you can see the range. You then go, get that out of mind. Where am I trying to hit this? Oh, down that runway, which is about the thickness of two thumbs in front of you. So, very easy to get lost.
Hoagie's eagle putt runs by. Little tap in for birdie though. Nice comfortable opening birdie. Yeah, right. Church bells.
If they're really good, they could chime the time
to 11.
And Bud Colley here with his 3rd shot at the par 5, playing 567 yards. Tries to use the backstop, but flies it too far. And that's going to leave a very speedy putt down the hill. Over to 1.
So Kang. We have 5 of the 6 that we've watched have eagle putts here.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity one. Shouldn't be any surprises at the speed of this one.
No, early.
Yeah.
6 years out here now for Kang, looking for his first win.
We have Peter Uline, and here's that wedge shot we were talking about. It's just a scary shot. You can't be short, you can't be long.
Got to be precise. Kind of like that. He birdied this hole at about 7:10 this morning.
Not officially.
And now Charlie Hoffman with his 3rd, able to get it up in front of the green. Hits a little low scooter. That's a cool looking shot there. Have an excellent chance for birdie here at 11.
Now, back 1. Kang made his birdie. Mitchell for birdie.
He's sliding left, right. He needs a real firm punch.
Nice.
Very good.
Crunching good. 6 players at 1 under. After that opening hole, a couple of players birdieing 10 again.
This short left bunker. He's got an amazing short game.
60 yards, really tough shot.
How good was that?
Unbelievable. Even Peter Uline walked by and said, how good was that?
He's always been amazing around the greens. Now we got Brendan Grace down here. Left it in a pretty good spot, Kurt.
Yeah, and able to give himself a lie there. He still has to carry some of that bunker on the right, and then with a little spin.
How about this, Kirk? Since 2012, only 61% of the shots from inside 75 yards hit the green.
When it's firm and as narrow and shallow as it is, it's tough.
Actually, that's a crazy stat. And you think about that, how true that is. It can't be anybody, any other hole on the PGA Tour. That is difficult. Leaderboard brought to you by Callaway, the new Epic Flash drivers with the red.
Tyler Duncan trying to get up toes for a peek over the edge of that bunker there at the second. Second a par 4, so that one left for 4. Only managed a 5 at the opening hole. Tyler Duncan taking up for the 11th time this season, coming off a top 25 finish last week's AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Currently 70th in the FedEx Cup standings. Missed the 15th event of the season. Duncan competing in his second year on the PGA Tour after graduating from the Web.com Tour and playing alongside the Web.com Tour's Player of the Year last season. And this is Sung Jae Im. Really impressive young player. Led the money list the entire season last year, just 20 years of age. From week 1 through the end of the Web.com Tour Finals, this man was in control of the money list, graduated with fully exempt status. It's a big deal out here for a rookie. You can set your schedule. Got him into the Players' Championship as well. And has acquitted himself nicely in his first campaign. A couple of top 10 finishes, including the Safeway Open in Napa, California, to start the season. And the last player in this group, Jason Kokrak. They've already seen a good share of the golf course, these three. They were the first group out at 6:40 local time this morning, but their scores have been erased. Par-4 second, Jason Kokrak looking for birdie. Two in a row for Kokrak. And that is your early tournament leader for the second time today. Jason Kokrak birdies the second hole.
All right, back to the 10th. We got Dustin Johnson. We'll check it out with Top Tracer Technology.
Oh, boy, that's out the toe.
That is not ideal there. It's going to be stuck behind those trees over there.
2018 Guinness Open champion from Baghdad, Florida. Please welcome Bubba Watson.
All right, we got Bubba going with the yellow golf ball again this week. This guy absolutely loves this place.
This is a tough fit, isn't it? He's thinking of fading this. Look at that. You see, there we go. Oh, how about that? That's all. He lets you have 2 yards to aim at with that slice.
That's not a fade, that's a slice, yeah.
That's a slice, and it doesn't get the reward for being. It's fine, but what a shape shot for Bubba. That's everything's opposite. You'd say you hit a draw 3-wood or something. You know the golf swing. Watch the footwork.
Oh, mother.
Gets the weight over, and he stayed nice and solid actually on that one. That was his dinky, because his little dinky fade. It almost for Bubba, but it worked, didn't it? Opens the face, chop across it,
Fucking dude.
and he had nothing to aim at that front corner. You can just see that sliver of front corner of the green there. This man's wrong, 3-wood.
Yeah, this man can blow up both of them.
But no point in being long if you do that. That's down the front tees of 11.
He might be far enough down there to have a shot still.
You're right. You might have a clear view. Shouldn't be allowed.
Peter Uline for birdie after laying up off the tee.
Doesn't like that hill.
One of the few guys that would like his start from earlier.
Can't be too happy with that effort there.
And Jason Kokrak here at the second hole. Quick putt down the hill, coming off a birdie at 1. He's picking up. Oh, it lost a whole bunch of pace right there at the end. And a great party. And that's our new leader, Jason Kokrak. Back to 10.
Brandon Grace. Seen this putt quite a bit. No one's quite figured it out yet.
They're hitting good shots in here, but they're struggling on the green, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen birdie putts from everybody so far, which is very unusual at this hole.
Close in.
I'm guessing the greens are probably a little slower with all the rain we've had. This man's been playing some very nice golf, though. Over to the first.
And Scott Stallings from off the green, his third.
That's a great run last week. There you go. Did I say we we're going to have a 3? Who needs a putter? Yeah, playing super golf. Third last week at Pebble.
So we keep seeing eagle putts in the first eagle from off the green.
Back to Freddie Jakobsen. This would be an absolutely amazing birdie after a pretty poor tee shot.
He played that bunker shot low with a ton of spin in. It was very creative.
Man, you just hate wasting an opportunity after a shot like that.
All right, so even par through 1, we got 2 under leading the way. So that birdie start from Kokrak, and when it's drying out here, keep it here, continue to show you the images as we play through this break.
We'll take you to the 11th, par 5 here. Third shot on the way for Louis Oosthuizen. One thing players will have going for them is very soft, receptive greens to fire into. Birdie chance for Oosthuizen. Brian Gay has reached the first hole in 2, not one of the longest hitters in the game. He's going to make birdie, it appears, especially the way he rolls it, coming off a nice showing last week at Pebble Beach. Patrick Rogers, birdie attempt. Speaking of Gay's performance at Pebble last week, tie for 7th of the year. All 3 courses in the rotation last week. Pebble Beach, Spyglass, Monterey Peninsula, all under 7,000 yards. Such a rarity in today's professional game. The air plays at about 7,300 by the way. Up and over the trees at the second, Sun Kang was well out of position, but did a nice job to get that one back into play after birdieing the opening hole. So we've been going for about 45 minutes or so. And Jason Kokrak leads the Genesis Open for the 2nd time. He was the leader for a spell earlier this morning before those scores were erased. Then he promptly birdies the first 2 holes. How about an eagle at the opening hole for Scott Stallings, and birdies at 1 and 2 for Jason Kokrak. Early peek at the leaderboard. Got enough daylight till about perhaps 5:45 local time here in Pacific Palisades to jam in as much golf as they possibly can here at the Genesis Open.
Cameron Champ, who had way left off the 10th hole over here, but listening to what Kurt, his caddy, has to say. Yeah, so he's playing this back into the wind, which is very helpful. It's able for him to stop this coming out of this rough.
You know, he's still on this angle, has to do with that bunker if he goes on a direct line. I think that's what his caddy told him. He's got plenty of green to the right of it. I expect it to be just a hair right of it. You're right, back into the wind, soft green should be able to stop it.
Yeah, that's pretty well done there, Cameron Champ. We got DJ here, a little jammed up, it looks like Kurt.
He's okay. He's got a nice window below the palm tree, above the low-hanging trees.
Oh,
Hit the palm.
that did not sound good. Oh, man.
The window was shut and he played it.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about how hard this green is to hit from inside of 75 yards. I mean, it's just not even close. 60%, that's just almost unheard of with guys at this level.
Obviously not when you have a tree in your way, but today a little bit easier with the soft conditions. And not as fiery.
Yeah, it's definitely much easier with how soft it is, but you still got to leave it in a good spot to have a chance here.
Really good. Tough angle.
That was a great shot there by Dustin, and hopefully be able to save par.
Yeah. No bounce in this 10th green has really changed this hole.
I would say, Kurt, too, this is one of the easier pins on this green, if there is such a thing.
Yeah, it gives you a chance, doesn't it, from all angles there.
Yeah, even if you lay up, you have plenty of room to kind of control a wedge in there. That's a surprising stat. Bubba Watson, no eagles, but he's absolutely destroyed this place in even number of years. We'll see how he does this year.
Well, it's a pretty good start. That drive, he left it in an excellent spot. He doesn't have to deal with the bunker. Just got to get the speed right going uphill. I thought he might putt this, Cole.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at that as well, especially not having to deal with the bunker. I definitely think I would have reached for the putter. That's going to come up well short. Had quite a bit of spin on it. I'm with you, Kurt. I just think that you have to pull out the putter there. It's just so uphill. A bad putt's going to get much closer than a poor chip.
He has won here 3 times. I guess he does know what he's doing, though, right?
That's a good point. It's 3 more than I have.
I'm still going with you guys. He should have putted it.
Back to one.
Tony Finau from the fairway.
And definitely, if he plays this week, has a chance. Been playing well for months now. Ooh, but a lovely little kick off the bank of the bunker.
You are kind of waiting for him to break out, right?
Absolutely. I think when he gets a bit of mega confidence, he could be there every week.
Back to Cameron Champ.
We've seen already the greens might be a little slower than the practice rounds and the Pro-Am, so he's got to hit this going uphill, moving left.
See if we can get somebody to get this one to the hole.
Lack speed.
Yeah. Talent this guy is, though, Kurt. I mean, just
Gosh. I'd like to have his game for the next 20 years out here on the PGA Tour.
yes, please. I'll take half his speed. Now Bubba for birdie. He's recently switched to this kind of forearm locked putting method. I think it looks pretty good.
Played well in Phoenix with it.
Said Bryson DeChambeau's been helping him out with it. beautiful there. Good start for Bubba. I don't know if I could handle the yellow golf ball.
Could you handle explanations from Bryson DeChambeau?
That's
Well,
tough. Yeah.
and questions from Bubba?
The check he's getting.
Oh, I don't question it for him. I'm just saying, I don't know that I could understand it. Yeah. Each a little different approach.
This would be a heck of a par after that pretty poor second shot where he hit the tree.
What a fun group to follow, though, wouldn't they? I mean, they all launch it. They curve it quite a bit. Bubba especially shapes it all over the place.
Heck of a par there.
All right, guys, play well. Attention, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 222 grouping of Mickelson, Shoffley, and Speed. First on the tee, the 2008 and 2009 Genesis Open champion. Please welcome Phil Mickelson.
Phil's going with driver here at the 10th. He's never going to lay up here, I don't think.
With that wind out of the right, sets up great for a high cut.
Whoa. Yeah. Wow. We knew he could do the high bit.
That's over towards the range. Kurt, did you see where that ended up?
I did not. They're pointing past the 11th
San
tee.
Diego, California. Please welcome Xander Shoffley.
What a start to the year Xander Shoffley's had. Just seems to not shy away from the moment.
Next on the tee, from Dallas, Texas, please welcome Jordan Speed.
I think it's about time for Mr. Speed to turn the game around here. Expect a good week out of him.
Yeah, if you keep the double bogeys off the card, that's killing him. Causing enthusiasm. That might work.
Looked pretty good there.
Oh, I guess okay.
We seen anybody lay up here?
Nope.
Peter Uihlein.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
Right, that's it.
Freddie Jakobsen's unintentional layup.
So Phil is 48 years old.
Other two boys are 25. I was hoping they was all going to add up to 50. So Phil definitely out with the youngsters. Going to give him a masterclass maybe today.
He's going with a little Valentine's Day sweater vest there.
I was going to ask, is that pink or salmon? What would you call it, Nick?
I think it's more salmon to me. Sockeye salmon. I can't see the hearts fluttering out of it.
Got something against primary colors? Looks red to me.
Not on my TV. Tiger's red next to him, that is definitely got leaning towards salmon. It's further up the river.
2008, 2009. Two-time champ Mickelson here. Riviera. Meanwhile, earlier, eagle putt for Finau at 1. How difficult are these greens to figure out, putting-wise?
There's a couple. They have their one main break. They're heading in one specific direction. So, but I remember sometimes being flag high was actually hard work. You know, then you pick up all the break. So you don't want to be short or long. You know, left or right sometimes leaves far more breaking putts than right in front of or past the flag even.
Easy birdie there for Fino. I know local knowledge, Big Phil is with the brain of the great Andy Alcott, the Hall of Famer, who knows the area as well as anyone on these greens. That's Phil's golf ball, by the way.
Phil managed to avoid the giant hogweed just to the left of Phil's ball.
I think Tim Mickelson's going to have to walk that one off. I don't think there's any sprinkler heads over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, his brother Tim's going to have to go to work here to get that yardage.
Looks like a good lie, though. I mean, if there's no tree trouble, we might have a chance.
It's really wet. I wouldn't be surprised to see temporary water here come up. And the problem where he would go, if he goes behind him across the path there, that's all long cool. I'm not sure there's anywhere to go.
Yeah, I bet he just chooses to play this one from where it is.
Yeah.
Are the trees in the way, or does he have a...
He's fine. He just the key here is going to be his brother. A little pressure on his brother here to get the right yardage, because that's going to be really important here. But he does have a good angle. He's going to have to deal with the bunker.
Yeah, if anyone can pull this off, it's definitely Phil. Like you said, as long as Tim gets him the right number, I mean, he's got a fine angle and should be able to control the spin.
Be a bit of a guess there, because he's on a pretty steep bank, so you're going to give it a thump. He's no idea, as you were saying over there, that's could be some heavier ground. And
you know what I think the hard part's going to be, Nick? It's really wet. It's a fairly clean, tight lie, but it's so wet under it,
yeah,
and it's fairly level. It's going to be making that contact that you're looking for, because if he catches this at all heavy, it's going to go 30 yards.
Yeah.
It's really wet down there.
And then you kind of know that from experience, and you overcompensate it and give it a bigger crunch and go long. But opening drama for Phil and for us.
It's going to be Xander Schauffele first. They just checked with him. His caddy said he's got 88 yards to the hole.
So let's just check. It's a 305-yard hole. You've hit a driver, and you've still got 88 yards.
He hit the
I don't think you were expecting that, were they?
Xander got a good break here. He was able to take relief.
Kurt, it looks like he's got a great lie. It's just all about controlling your spin here with how soft the greens are.
Yeah, after he took relief, the area that he dropped in is just kind of deep down Kikuya. It's an excellent line.
This is one with the greens being so soft and back into the wind, you can overspin it.
Get up.
There it goes. It's going to catch that slope and go down behind the bunker, I believe.
This is not going to be good. That next shot's going to be... he just has an angle.
Here we go with Phil Mickelson. See if we can do out of this wet, sloppy lie.
It's coming off the green, but that's fine. Considering the lie, that's not too bad.
Earlier this morning, we had Phil Mickelson already play his hole. This was his fourth shot, crashes into the hole. Luckily, they changed the pin from earlier, but he actually hit 3 bunker shots on that hole.
He wasn't sure, though. I had to count him up. Yeah.
break.
And Scott Stallings here with his second shot
Oh,
at 2.
fuck.
Coming off a chip-in eagle at first. Hole location right up here in front, and that's an excellent play.
Wow, you don't normally start 3-3, do you? Going 1 and 2.
Paul Casey underway here. This is second, all the way down there to the end with the drive.
You just pick it up from where he left off last week. Has plenty of good iron shots.
Yep. You do try to ride that, don't you?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah. Just off we go again, back in the saddle.
Jordan here hitting his second.
Not a great lie there. He had to drive that into the green.
Man, that hit really, really soft. And it's going to come up well.
Oh, yes.
Had a clump of grass behind it cold. Made him get real steep on that one.
Yeah, when this Kikuyu gets wet, it plays very difficult. Over to 11.
And Bubba Watson, after a 322-yard drive.
Gee, that's impressive, isn't it? It's uphill. It's damp. Sea level. What, 55 degrees out there? 60 degrees?
Over here at 10, we have Xander Schauffele surveying his third shot.
And he's lucky.
Oh,
I thought it was going to come in typical conditions here, dried out. That would have been all the way down the bottom, and he had to pitch over that bunker. But the way it is, he doesn't have to pitch over the bunker, but he still has to fly it up there on the green. Should be able to spin this pitch.
Yes, I mean, you're exactly right. With it being dry and firm, it rolls behind that bunker, and it just causes all kinds of problems. But see if he can take advantage of this good break here. He's already got 2 wins on this 2018-2019 season. Yeah, that's very well done there. Over to 11.
And Cameron Champ with his second. He belted one out there, 331, Nick.
That's a long way, isn't it? And this Kikuyu grass. Oh, look at that.
No roll, and then
No roll.
just fires it right at the flag.
Slightly uphill. Ah, boy, different ball game.
And Scott Stallings here for birdie to take the lead at 3 under.
Oh.
Yeah, what a start, Nick. 3-3.
I mean, that second was one of the more than the water. It's a tough green. Side bank on the hill. They used to keep that long Kikuyu back in the day. You put it up there, it stayed up there.
And now Dustin Johnson from the right rough with his third. A little bit of a backstop behind it. Yeah, throws it right at the base of it. And that'll leave a pretty speedy putt. And we're just getting started here at the Genesis Open. Scott Stallings out with an lead.
Just inside the final 30 minutes of our scheduled coverage here as they take on Riviera Country Club after a 6+ hour weather delay and suspension of play. They've been going for about an hour since they restarted this opening round. And we will jump on to the second. Andrew Putnam after a birdie at the opening par 5. He's had a very nice season on the heels of his maiden victory last year in Reno, Nevada. Putnam currently 13th in the FedEx Cup points race. This is Sung Kang's approach into the third. That's a shot of just inside 140 yards from the primary cut over there. Got a piece of the green, pretty well judged for distance. Back to the second. And a long approach shot coming in for Charles Howell III. Only managed par at the opening hole, the easiest on the course, but may grab birdie here. And then back up to the third. Tom Hoagie next play. Birdie at the first, bogey at the second, so a chance to go 4-5-3 for Tom Hoagie. Eagle at the first, birdie at the second for Scott Stahl, the leader here. Jason Kokrak birdies the first 2 holes of the day. Scott Stallings eagles 1, birdies 2. And a host of players on page 1 at 1 under par. Bubba Watson birdies the first in his total defense as we take you out to the 10th. And Phil Mickelson with a chance for birdie here to start his opening round.
We're back here at Riviera Country Club with Phil Mickelson. Trying to open his round with a birdie. Really great effort. A little less stressful than the par he made this morning. He always likes to make it exciting, doesn't he? Take a look at Phil's reaction here. I think he liked that one the whole way. He's been putting it great so far this year. Back over to 11.
And Dustin Johnson for birdie. Working down the hill. He's working kind of towards the ocean. I think that's why some guys struggle reading this here, because there is a little bit of a valley effect here. He's putting right down valley.
There definitely is. At the bottom left corner of the, well, as he stands at the golf, it's somewhere down on the left of 12 and 13, one of the low points on the back nine, the first couple of holes. And they keep going further down the hill, down 15 and 16.
Saw that second from Casey. This for Eagle at 1.
Get up and go.
At one point last week, that leaderboard had all 40-something. 6 and 7.
And now Cameron Champ here for Eagle at the 11th. Just 5.5 feet. But they should be raking just a little bit to his left. We're going to have this kind of length and then this kind of putting stroke. Ooh, what a combination. It's a 10.
Jordan Spieth putting up the hill for. Man, this club's just kind of has been letting him down the last year or so, but normally an excellent putter, and I think he'll get it back on track pretty soon. You see anything in his stroke?
Well, I don't think he did stroke. I mean, that one, he's got to read off Phil, and then he doesn't hit it. So that's why he's kicking himself. He just had to stand up and track the same line as Phil. There's always one thing, isn't there? It seems like with Jordan, if it's you've got to obviously get the stroke's got to be good, distance got to be good, read's got to be good, strike's got to be good. And it seems like one of those is out. Get 3 right and 1 wrong, it still doesn't go in, does it, guys?
Oh, it's got to all come together, and on the greens there's so many different ways to do it. Bubba Watson now here at 11 for his birdie after a good bunker shot.
What was the key to your stroke, Justin?
Just the pace of it, and at times my stroke got a little too long and too slow, so I had to work on keeping the pace up and really finishing my stroke. I could kind of, the end of the putter would drift around a little bit. I think that's something that Bubba's working on here with this method, making a real definitive finish to his stroke right there. Now, he did rebound that, and watching him a little bit in Phoenix, the putter blade didn't come back towards away from the hole, but it certainly did on that one, and we saw him come up kind of short and to the right. So, a little frustrating here at 11 for Bubba Watson.
First look at the third hole here. There's Sun Kang choosing to leave the pin in, putting for birdie. Off to a nice start today. Ooh, right in the middle. I think we're going to continue to see more and more guys leaving the pin in.
I agree. I think it's just a great visual aid. Simple as that. Different psychology of stand up and hit the pin.
Keith Mitchell for birdie over here. You know, Nick, I heard Adam Scott say kind of the same thing you just did.
Yeah.
Kind of take the speed factor out of play. You're just trying to bang it against the pin instead of actually hold the putt.
Well, I think it's the psychology of, making putts, holding putts. And if you get nervous about holding putts, forget about it. Just aim at the face. Just say so. Just try and hit the pin. See what happens. And I promise you, it kind of just changes it loosens your own psychology up. Any fear factor.
And back here at 11, Phil Mickelson is driven into the rough.
Let's take that stake down right there.
Interesting to see what he decides to do here, Justin.
He's going to have to play some kind of big cut if he wants to carry it to the second fairway, Kurt.
Exactly. That's why I say that. Look at this. He's going to take out. Is that a driver?
Might be. Yes.
Out of the rough?
This is why we're here. Driver out of the rough.
This is awesome.
For a layup. This is amazing.
I thought he might just chip it 50 yards down the fairway, but I don't know what I was
You
thinking.
thought what? It's Phil.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Well, and he's got the driver because he can really open the face up. And this is going to be a huge slice.
Low and slicing. Asking for a cut.
So he slices up 10 and then he can't slice it when he's trying to slice it.
That's Phil. That'll be okay there too. I mean, he's got the bunker there to contest it, but soft conditions. But he's got 2 yards to work with.
He's got 2 yards to work with out of the wet Kikuyu over the Grand Canyon bunker in front of him.
Yeah, but
Come on.
Yeah, but it's Phil Mickelson. He's got an 83-degree wedge. Now Xander Schauffele going with the fairway wood as well, Kurt.
Yeah, 277 to the wall. Dead downwind out of a so-so lie, I would say.
452 meters.
Yeah, giving himself a good angle, even though it's in the rough. There's not a lot of rough, especially in that part of the course. Now Jordan with his second.
He was doing a lot of work. Cameron, his coach was here this week, and they did a ton of work on Tuesday and Wednesday. He hit balls on Wednesday for his pro-am time for an hour and a half, and a lot of it was driver work. So far, so good. 261 to the hole. It's on a decent line. It hangs in there. Oh, what a good song.
Wow, a little unlucky, and that's what Nick was referring to earlier. It's like Velcro short of these greens with this wet Kikuyu.
It'd stop a freight train, wouldn't it? Crash test dummies would come to a grinding halt in this grass.
Second shot, par 4, third hole for Brian Gilliam, 176. Just about 50 feet or so there. Hideki Matsuyama with a swinging putt here at the 10th to start his day.
Get up, get up, get up! Ah!
Looks like par there at the 10th. If he can clean that one up. Back over to the third. 152 yards to go from the rough here for Patrick Rogers. It's thick. You don't want to get tangled up in the rough if you can avoid it after all the rain that fell. 2 inches or so, prompting that 6-hour suspension of play. Back to 10, KJ Choi. KJ teeing it up for the 19th time here. And when he was playing his best golf in the early 2000s, this course suited his game immaculately. 3 top 10 finishes in a 4-event stretch starting in 2007, in fact, for KJ. 9 top 25 finishes here through the years for Choi. Scott Stallings continues to maintain the early lead, and we begin to wind down our coverage over the next 10 minutes or so from here at Riviera. First round coverage from the Genesis Open. Another couple of hours or so of daylights to work with. And try and get as much golf in as they can to finish this in regulation time by Sunday evening. Martin Keimer down there at the 10th. So Keimer starts his round with a par at the 10th, and just his second start here, played here last year for the very first time.
Fucking hit it.
We're back here at 11. Phil Mickelson trying to do something Phil-like here with his third.
He's got that piece of bark from the eucalyptus tree right behind his ball. He was afraid if he picked it up, the loose impediment that the ball may move, so he is leaving it there.
There it is right there. He's going to try and go right through that. Actually, he's going to chop down on it.
Yeah, just to get the degree of difficulty up another notch.
Maybe play it out to the left a little bit would be wise.
He's got to go. Oh, what a shot.
I told you, it's no problem. No problem.
Wow, golf clap for that one.
Wow. He was going to move it, and then he... Nah, maybe not. It's a big swing at it. Like that little piece of bark didn't affect it very much. You know, driver in the left trees, hit another driver in the right trees.
He's played 2 holes almost, plus 1 this morning. And think about the activity that has taken place so far.
He's used that wedge about 9 times today. Now Xander Schauffele with a great angle.
He does, but he's still got to go up in the air with this. He's got a good live. He's laying that sandwich open, going to try to fly this past the fringe.
Not a great result there. To 3.
Got Scott Stallings, 18 feet for his birdie threes. Will be 3 threes in a row to start the round. Just misses, but still a great start for Stallings after a great week last week at Pebble Beach. Back over to 11.
And Jordan Spieth just players playing live clean in place.
He's got to be liking his chances, I got to believe, from here. This is definitely makeable. And it'll be a nice makeup for a pretty average stroke there at his first hole.
Kurt, you mentioned Jordan and Cameron McCormick working on their his long game and a lot with his driver. That seems to be
Motherfucker.
you know, an area of his game that could certainly improve.
One of the things they were doing when they were working on the range, and I really like it personally, is they were, with the driver, they were making a lot of half slow motion swings to feel, I think he was trying to feel a little more up at impact. They had TrackMan out, they were looking at the numbers, and he spent a lot of time with that drill. Half swings, half speed, and then he would hit 2 or 3 full bore.
Yeah. Well, he comes in here stroke skating off the tee at 201st. So plenty of room for improvement if he can start to put the ball in the fairway. He's such a good iron player. And as Colt mentioned, this club right here has got to turn around at some point. And it's not going to do it here at the 11th.
I think that's mental, isn't it, guys? That's, you never made a clear commitment on what you're trying to do.
that's unexplainable, Nick.
Yeah, for you do all your calculations, you read it, you trust your stroke, you know you've lined up well, and so your last thought, and can you clear the other three, is distance. That's all you concentrate on, that last play. When you do that means you're concentrating on something else. You're still in stroke mode or something else mode. So best part is, I think, that's the last thought. How hard I'm going to get it there. You like that, guys? You like that cold?
Yeah, I talked to Jordan's caddy, Michael Greller, quite a bit last year about his putting, and he thinks he gets way too wrapped up in the green reading book. He said his best mixed putting are always at Augusta when he actually doesn't use the book there and just goes kind of on feel.
Yeah, big imagination. You got to see curves, swooping curves at Augusta. It's all visualization, totally.
That's exactly what Michael said. He wishes he'd just throw the greens book away.
Well, I agree. I spoke to Jordan a couple of years back and said, okay, what's your secret? How do you read them? And that's exactly what he said. I look for a midpoint or a high point, let's call it, whether that's past, middle, or 2/3 down the putt. Find the high point. You've got a curve to that high point, and you've then got a curve down to the hole. And that's when he was holding everything good 3-4 years ago.
More visualization too, visualizing making the putt beforehand, or at least hitting a good putt, and then staying committed to it.
And now Phil Mickelson here to finish off a dreadful birdie. Wow. It's a fast putt from above the hole location here at 11. It's a 12.
Our 477 Cameron Champ.
One of the great par fours in the world.
You've said that a couple of times.
Yeah, it's brutally difficult. I mean, the flag's back in you can't see it because it's mega dark green strip. There's two mounds. Short left of the flag and short right of flag. Plus you've got out of bounds left, you've got grass, you've got bunkers. It's a great test.
You just mentioned a lot, by the way.
Stick around, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
PJ Singh, Jimmy Walker, Tommy Fleetwood starting their day at 10. Tommy's a little tiny breeze there. That is more than acceptable if it stays on the green, and it will. Fleetwood's given himself a chance. Over to the third we go. 443-yard par 4. And Putnam already with a birdie on the scorecard. And nearly another. Finding his footing out here. A winner for the first time last season. And a strong follow-up campaign going thus far for Andrew Putnam. Tapped in with the wedge. Style points there. Back to 10. Jimmy Walker in good position here in par 4. Pretty nifty. Knows how to play this golf course. Certainly he's had a number of high finishes through the years in his 12 previous starts. 3 top 5s here for the Texan. Back to 3. Tony Finau's birdie attempts. Share of second place here last year for Tony. One of 11 top 10 finishes for him on the tour last season. His best ever showing, leading to a Ryder Cup berth on that U.S. team. So Finau stays at -1, and we begin to close down our coverage here. But they will continue to play golf for another 2.5 hours plus. Able to squeeze a lot in before nightfall here outside of Los Angeles. That's the story of the day right there. Mother Nature's wrath of Riviera, and then the incredible work of the grounds crew to get these hallowed grounds in condition once again. As the players waited more than 6 hours during a suspension of play before restarting the first round entirely. The 10 groups that were on the golf course saw their scores erased. That's the first time that's happened on the PGA Tour since the 2013 season. For complete tournament coverage from here at Riviera and live scoring, today's stats, and video content, log on to PGAtour.com. And this concludes the PGA Tour's opening round coverage of the 2019 Genesis Open from Riviera Country Club in Pacific Palisades, California.
Bij Ricola wensen we je een stem waarmee je veel voor elkaar krijgt. En heerlijke momenten van even helemaal niets. Daarom verbouwen we in harmonie met de natuur onze kruiden zorgvuldig in de Zwitserse bergen. Zo maken we heerlijke pastilles voor je stem en je keel.
Je voelt dat je je centrum hebt gevonden. Alles is in balans. Je voelt je yin en yang. Wij weten ook niet waar je centrum ligt, maar wijkopenauto's.nl. Ontdek nu hoeveel jouw auto waard is. Gratis bij wijkopenauto's.nl.
Rij nu all-inclusive de Nissan Micra. Inclusief 4 jaar garantie, onderhoud en Nissan Connect navigatie met Apple CarPlay. Nissan Micra, de compacte high-tech auto van Nissan. De Nissan Micra en Connecta. Nu all-inclusive voor €209 per maand.
Maak verbinding met NordVPN. Bescherm je privacy en geniet van veilige toegang tot het internet. Download NordVPN nu. 30 dagen niet goed geld teruggarantie.
We zijn nieuwsgierig. Niet te stoppen. Geboren om te ontdekken. Maar we worden ouder. We veranderen. Worden stijlvoller. Slimmer. En we blijven ontdekken. Net als de Jeep Compass. Nu, met Business Pack vanaf €36.200. Jeep, standaard met 5 jaar garantie. Kilometervrij.
Geniet van een ijzersterke line-up bij het tennistoernooi van Nederland. Het ABN AMRO World Tennis Tournament gaat morgen verder live op Ziggo Sport Extra.
Net buiten Melbourne in de provincie Victoria, Geelong, vinden we de 13th Beat Golf Club ISPS Honda Vic Open. Zowel voor mannen als vrouwen. Ze spelen tegelijkertijd voor evenveel geld. De nummer 7 van de wereld, Sue O uit Australië, is titelverdedigster. Maar er zijn andere grote namen aanwezig bij de vrouwen. Georgia Hall, Pernilla Lindberg, major winnaars. Maar Pernilla Lindberg is niet helemaal in vorm, althans niet geprepareerd, want is vorige week getrouwd. Simon Hawes, titelverdediger, met een verrassende overwinning vorig jaar na een play-off. Maar er zijn andere grote namen die meer kans maken op papier. Lucas Herbert. En de baard van zijn caddy is ook van te smullen, maar vooral de swing en de ballen van Herbert. Aaron Rai is aanwezig. Hij won eerder dit seizoen Hongkong. 2 kampioenschappen tegelijkertijd op 2 verschillende banen, maar wel om en om starten. Dat betekent dat we veel spel zullen zien van zowel de mannen als de vrouwen. En dat is een prachtig concept en misschien gaat dit wel veel vaker gebeuren. 156 mannen, 156 vrouwen. We spelen om en om, dus de ene flight is een flight met 3 heren, dan 3 dames, 3 heren, 3 dames. En dan op 2 banen verdeeld, want je moet ze allemaal kwijt. Dan gaan er 65 door naar zaterdag en maar 35 door per groep. Beef Johnson was een van de publiekstrekkers, maar miste de cut. Lucas Herbert, daar geen beter mee. Was in de buurt van de leiders na 2 dagen, maar een slechte derde ronde betekende dat hij zondag thuis zat. Kurt Katayama won Mauritius. Won met een 64, maar 8 over de volgende 2 dagen. En daardoor was hij niet in contention. Neil maakte 64. Maar daarna 72-74 en miste de cut op zaterdagavond. Nick Flanagan had de ronde van de week. Een ronde van 62 op de eerste dag met 2 eagles. Dan bij de vrouwen. De Georgia Hall. Zij won 2 jaar geleden dit toernooi. Vorig jaar die Open Championship voor vrouwen. Maar hier gaat ze niet winnen. Maar Sue O, daar ging het wel goed mee. 67, 68 de eerste 2 dagen. Haru Nomoro had last van de rug en had geen wedstrijd meer gespeeld sinds augustus. 67, 67. En zij staat daar nog heel goed bij. Maar het kan nog beter. Kim Kaufman maakt 2 keer 66. 1300 aan de leiding. Matt Jager maakte dezelfde scores bij de mannen. Wade Ormsby was het seizoen niet geweldig begonnen. Maar hier, in eigen land, ging het beter. 65 en 66 met prachtige slagen in vaak witterige omstandigheden. Jason Scrivener is dit seizoen wel goed begonnen. En ook hier weer 64, 66. Hij was zijn eerste overwinning op de Europese Tour behalen. De derde ronde. Maar het score is niet laag. Het was een hele moeilijke dag. Duo maakte 74, maar daarmee verloor ze geen plek. Als je in de problemen bent, dan moet je maar toveren. En dat deed Kim Kaufman. Maar na de topronde van 75. Jason Scrivener zaagt de stuurpoten onder de bal vandaan, maar doet dat iets te grof. Tijdens de ronde van 76 op dag 3. Als je wel goed speelt op zo'n dag, dan maak je een grote sprong. Matthew Steger deed dat met ronde 65. Nog best lachen. Met Ormsby. Een mooie birdie op de laatste. In ronde 70. Hij Hij staat hoog. Kaufman staat het allerhoogst, onder 75. Nog steeds nummer 1. Twee slagen voor op Boutier en O. En Ormsby 1500, 2 slagen voor op Matthew Steger. Die heel naar de tweede plaats is gestegen. En Callum Shinkman. Lage scores voor sommigen, hoge scores voor anderen. En dus maken we ons op voor de laatste ronde. 35 vrouwen, 35 mannen op de beachscores. En er is nog steeds wind. Maakte de birdie op de eerste Kim Kaufman. Kwam zo 4 slagen voor, maar daarna volgden er bogies. Kan dan de Française Boutier er druk op zetten. Na 2 vroege bogies. Een makkelijke birdie hier op de par 5 vijfde. De ouders zijn Frans en Koreaans. De Boutier studeerde in Amerika aan de Duke University. En het gezicht van Boutier staat beter dan het gezicht van Kim Kaufman. Want bogey op de derde, bogey op de vierde en een dubbel bogey op de vijfde betekenen problemen. David Law, 67, 66, 71, de eerste 3 dagen. De man die zijn tourkaart via de qualifying school wist te behalen. Justin Harding, gaat ook goed. Shinkman met een birdie op de vijfde, tweede van de dag, maar op 1 bogey. Brad Kennedy speelt voornamelijk op de Japanse tour. En op de derde maakt hij zijn tweede birdie achter elkaar. Laten we nog 1 maken op de vierde. Dat is 3 op rij. En dan de leider naar dag 3. Wade Ormsby begint goed. Zoek naar zijn tweede overwinning op de Europese Tour. Meteen een birdie. En dan een birdie op de tweede en ook een birdie op de